Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Premier Life Podcast. This is Dr. Nate, and we're going to be talking about really New Year's resolutions. Now, I know that not everybody is a fan of New Year's resolutions or really goals. Sometimes people think that they're overrated, mainly because, maybe in years past that you kind of find it worthless, maybe, or, they're kind of, mute point, but really, I'm really excited for you guys to share with you some ways that this can really change your life, of just setting goals that are easily attainable and that are going to be completely life-changing and having drastic changes in your health and longevity and ultimately your impact on your life for years to come. And so before we get started, really I want to emphasize the fact that really instead of trying towards these goals, we're training, right? And there's a huge difference between trying and training. And really what that is the mindset of it, right? If you're trying, you're trying, you have that mindset of failure, right? Oh man, I tried it. It didn't work. Training is a completely different mindset. Training is taking the failures and learning from them and bringing them towards a skill set or something that you're trying to achieve and making impact in small increments of having that accelerated impact through training. Learning from your mistakes from years past and correcting for the future. And so before we look too far into the future, let's look into the past. One of my favorite pastimes growing up in California was hiking through the Sierra Nevadas. And so if you guys have never seen the Sierra Nevadas before, it's this huge mountain range on the east side of California that stretches all the way from Southern California all the way well up into Oregon and Washington. And we'd go hiking up there every summer. And, these trails were just so pristine. They would go across these peaks and they would go by these crystal clear lakes. And really we would see life-changing perspectives as we would look back and see how far we've come from since we started the hike. And so really that's a lot of how we, should be looking at these years, right? A lot of people think that health is a destination. It's never really a destination. Health is a state. And really, sometimes you can see your goals as maybe you have some mountaintops or some vantage points that you can see from, but really life is a state, right? And what I mean by that is there's no finish line to health, right? There's no real mountaintop experience. It's like planking or it's like spinning plates. It's a state that you're in to where you can enjoy the hike and enjoy the vantage points of life to where you can look back and see that. And so it's always important to look back on these hikes that you're going on to see where you veered off trail, where you could have had a better experience in your hike. And that way you can make adequate, maps and guide points for your hike in this next year. And so here's a really great exercise of 7 questions of really, how you've changed over the past year and how you can really assess, do a post-mortem or a reevaluation of the year in the past. And so again, a lot of times people don't think resolutions are a really great thing. I think it's a really fantastic thing. Really, if you don't have any goals or resolutions, you're going to be aimless, right? You're going to be wandering. You're not going to be heading towards a peak. You're going to be heading just wherever life takes you. And so it's important to be able to take these questions and to really help hone in your direction and re-look at your compass to see, am I heading in the right direction? Did I head in the right direction last year? Am I going towards my goals of the life that I want to enjoy and live? So question number 1. Where were you in your health journey a year ago? Have you made progress in your goals? And so really a lot of times, I think back to when I was on those hikes and I would be an hour or two into the hike and I look back to where I started. And the starting point seemed like a speck in the distance, right? A lot of times when we look back at our life a year ago and we think about the health challenges that we faced and we think about the life circumstances that we were in, whether it be physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, socially, all these different things. Where were you in your journey a year ago? Have you made progress in your goals and how you wanted to see those things change? And so, if not, then you got to ask yourself why. Why did I not make those goals? Number 2, were your goals specific and measurable? Do your goals have the same markers as last year or the same goalposts as last year? And so, when you set a goal, it has to be very specific and very measurable, right? A lot of people come in and they say, oh, Dr. Nate, I want my life to completely be transformed. I want to focus on my nutrition. I want to focus on my exercise. Well, guys, those are such big, broad topics that if you just want to say, yeah, I want to focus on my nutrition. I want to get my nutrition better. Oh, I want to do my exercise. I want my exercise to be better. It has to be measurable and it has to be specific. And so if we don't really set these specific and measurable goals, you have nowhere to start. You don't know where to start with your exercise. You don't know where to start with your nutrition. And a lot of people will just say, oh, I don't know where to start. And they'll have that gridlock and they'll never make that first step towards their goal. And so my specific recommendation for that is to, again, make specific, measurable goals that are attainable, right? And that way you can make your first step that will create some inertia or some momentum towards achieving more and more steps towards the ultimate life that you want to live. Number 3, this is a really, really good question right here. Why are these goals important to you? Has this changed since last year? Right? So a lot of times people will pick a goal and it won't be that important to them. They'll say, oh, I want to eat better, or oh, I want to move better. Again, why are these goals important to you? If it's something as superficial as losing weight or, maybe to look better, guys, those are not strong enough reasons why to do something. And that's likely why you haven't achieved it in the past. And so in a few minutes, I'll talk a little bit more about that of how we can make these goals more important to you. And really ask yourself, has this changed since last year? Is this more important to you this year than last year? If it's not, you got to change your goal to make it more important to you, or you got to find reasons how to really bring that goal to the forefront of your life to be able to take that next step. And question number 4 really ties back into the last question. And question number 4 is, who am I doing this for? And so it's important to understand that you are never really doing a resolution for yourself, right? I mean, you're never really making a life change for yourself, whether it be for your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health. If you are making a step towards the right direction in any of those arenas, you're never really doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your family. You're doing it for your friends. Think of this. You have kids, right? What kind of example will you set for your kids? Do you want your kids to have a great life? Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to be watching you make these steps. And so kids, they don't learn by, what you say, they learn by what you do. And so if they're watching you make these steps, you are making a huge impact on your kids, on their future health, to make those steps early on. Question number 5. Where did I get distracted from my goals and get off trail? Was it because it was too broad? Was it because it wasn't that important to me? Was it because I didn't know where to start, or I didn't have the resources to be able to make that step, that educated step? Was it because I tried and I wasn't training, right? Is it because I wasn't learning from my failures so that I can make those corrections over time? A lot of times it's important to have that post-mortem of where did I get distracted from my goals and get off trail. That way you don't make the same mistake again, right? Craziness, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, if you don't have this reevaluation, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So it's important to ask this question of where did I get distracted from my goals and how did I get off trail? Question number 6. Were my goals realistic? Did I expect to climb Mount Everest, in my first year of this healing journey? And was I basing my resolution off of emotion, and have this huge motivation swing and just have this quick die off to where I just completely lost all want to for the goal. It's important to set small goals first, right, that are easily attainable and work your way up. There's this Navy admiral that wrote this book. It was essentially about making your bed in the morning, right? And it was just something that was so simple, so easy. Yet it was something so small like making your bed that created that momentum to have a lot of things be done and accomplished during that day. On your first goal, you're going to want to have something that's realistic, easily attainable. I always recommend somebody to start off with something very passive. If you want your goal is to have, less toxins in your life, okay, it has to be measurable and it has to be realistic, right? So measurable. I want to have less toxins exposed to my body over the course of 2025. Great goal. It's going to affect your health. It's going to be a positive impact. Step number 1. You guys ready? If you guys don't have any resolutions, here's a really easy health goal that you can have. Install a shower filter in the month of January. You don't have to think about it. You hop in the shower. There's less toxins exposed to your body, right? It's measurable, because you can just say, did I install the shower filter? Yeah, check. Awesome. You accomplished that goal. And you don't have to think about you don't have to think about it to where you can have that easily accomplished. Last one, number 7. Were my goals really that important to me? Were my goals really that important to me? When you look at life later on, when you get towards the end of life and you look back and you think, was that really important to me? Did I really want to pour myself into that space of life, into that arena of life that much? Maybe you're geared towards business. Maybe you're a workaholic and you love working and you want to make that money, right? Nobody gets to the end of life and says, I really wish I would have worked more, or man, I really wish I would have spent more time at work. Were your goals really important to you? You want to make sure that your goals are setting you up towards a life well lived and that you can look back on life, later on. And you can see that, oh man, I was really glad that I set that goal because I was able to enjoy health for a lot longer period of time. Or maybe I'm so glad that I set that goal because I was able to spend a lot more time with my family. Make sure that the goals that you set are moving you more towards the life that you want to live, that you are going to, spend more time with your family, spend more time, enjoying the health that you're supposed to have, right? And so, again, ask yourselves, is that really important to me? These questions will give you a clear picture of really how you're going to reevaluate your goals. Whether you make your resolutions or not, again, you need to have that compass that's going to orient yourself to be directionally accurate towards the life that you want to live. If you don't have any goals, you're going to be aimless. You're going to be wandering around. You're never going to see the life that you want to live. You're never going to make it to that, that peak, that vantage point that you want to live if you're wandering aimlessly, right? So, again, so we have those 7 questions that are reevaluations. I'm going to give you guys 3 things that are going to be helping you get into a clearer picture of making these goals and help them be attainable and, hopefully set you on the course for an amazing 2025. Are you guys ready? All right, here it comes. Number 1, make reasonable, measurable goals in an arena of your life that is important to you. Right? We talked about that plenty. I think that's pretty, straightforward. Number 2, start with something small, something that can passively change your life. Just like we're talking about with that shower filter. Guys, that's one example. You could do countless things, whether it be with exercise, with detoxification, with making your chiropractic visits, and getting stress off of your nervous system. Talk with one of your doctors, make it easily attainable so that, you can enjoy life that you want to live later on down the road. All right, number 3, have someone or something that can hold you accountable to the goals. So this could be either, a workout partner, a family member that, you're doing these goals with. It could even be something as simple as a picture of your family, right, that you see every day. Now, the key with this, though, is to be held accountable. It has to be something in the way of your life, in your way that you see every day that your conscience will answer to, right? So I have a 5-month-old at home. I've got my wife at home. I want to be a better person for them, right? I want to be a healthier person for them. I want to be healthier physically, mentally, spiritually, in every facet of life so that I can be there for them. I can be a father to my son. I can be a husband to my wife. And so, I see them every day. I have pictures of them, they're my wallpaper on my phone, right? And so whenever I have a goal, you need to have something that's going to like visually set the tone for how you're going to achieve that goal, right? And that's going to pour into how important that goal is to you, right? If you're finding that you're struggling with achieving that goal because, again, it's not that important to you or you don't have accountability, those are the key areas that you need to address. And so if you follow these 3 points right here of making reasonable, achievable goals that are in an area that is important to you, start with something small and then have something that can hold you accountable that your conscience will answer to. Guys, you'll see drastic changes in 2025. In 2026, you'll look back and you're going to look back at that starting point, right? That speck in the distance. And you're going to say, wow, like we've made it a long ways. And guys, I just want to encourage you, there's going to be so many amazing vantage points in life. You're going to be able to enjoy so much things if you take this to heart. And press on. I know you guys got this. And so, guys, I hope you have an amazing 2025. And here's to an amazing year. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.